presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to John in Orlando. Hey, John, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I want to thank you, first of all, before I ask you about the stock. You and Tim Ward and all the gang at TFNN. I had a really, really good year after the October call you guys made. My 401k is up 72%.
Congratulations, man.
A couple of things I made with Coinbase and other stocks that I made, and I've had a good year.
And we appreciate you growling and prowling with us, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. Surprise, surprise. It's Jacob Shoup again, filling in for Tom O'Brien. I'll be with you again tomorrow as well. Of course, we are off Monday for the federal holiday. Won't resume back Tuesday. I believe Tom should be back then. I've said that in the past, and I was wrong. So, just kidding. Let's take a look at what we got going on today. We have the ES Mini. We're trading down about 0.15%, a little bit flat currently. The Russell down almost a full percentage point. We have the NQs trading at 16,951. That is flat. Basically sideways, looking at everything going on, at least currently. Have the Dow futures trading about 0.08% to the downside. Gold contract trading about $2,031.10. Silver at $22.85. We were moving down in silver. We just keep marching lower than too. And that was on some pretty high volume as well. So we'll have to take a look and see what's going on with that. Of course, we're having some counter-trend bounces, at least in the yields on the 10-year trading. We were on the way down. We're trading about 4.008% currently on that, but we'll probably see a reversal down from there. Looking at copper, trading at 3.78 right now, up about 0.13%. 1 second. Got to mute my Discord. Oh, on that topic, I want to say, I've been talking about the Discord quite a bit on here, and we've had a few people moving in. I think about 10 this week, which is nice. We're nearing up about above 650 people. It's been pretty successful. Everyone's loving it so far. Let's take a look here. Looking at Tesla right now, trading at 227.77, down about 3%. Steel Dynamics at 112.50. DXY 102.38. QQQ's at 408.86, Google 143, Microsoft, let's take a look here quickly, briefly surpassed Apple this morning as the largest company. We were trading up about 0.54% today, trading at 384.81 cents. We have a lot to talk about today. We'll talk a little about Lucid. They've made all-time lows again, some weird stuff going on in the EV market, however, some pushes from the government to expand EV charging infrastructure, which is no doubt going to bring a ton of money into basically the minerals and kind of all these more industrial kind of stocks here. We actually do have a caller talking to Costa in Boston. He's looking at Newmont. How are you doing, Costa? Can you hear me?
Good, yes, I can hear you fine. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. What can we take a look at today?
Newmont Mining, NEM. Where's the buy of this?
Yeah, what are you taking a look at regarding Newmont here? Trading down right now about 1.2%, trading at 37.49. Are you in Newmont currently? What are you taking a look at regarding?
Buy it.
You're looking to buy it? So, at least in all of the miners right now, right? We're seeing kind of a minor pullback and everything. Looking at gold, trading about 2,031 on the entire contract. I know, at least with speaking with Tom, and he's really the guy you want to talk to a lot with these kind of mining stocks, so we're kind of looking to wait for a bigger pullback in gold. One of the things I can recommend doing as well for a larger look at kind of all these equities in the miners, take a look at my interview with Tim about last Thursday, and we go over that. At least the way that we're looking at it now here, we're still waiting on a larger pullback from some of these miners until we become, major buyers in it. That's what I'm looking at least regarding the whole industry. Newmont as a whole, obviously, we're kind of coming down right now. We had a lot of volume about November 8th, and we were moving up. Let's see, from the top of that was about 39.27 all the way down to 33.59, a traversal back up. We are coming down right now, but this is, again, a pullback we've been seeing in a lot of these kind of miners, right? What's positive about these is that it's on low volume. So we might get a retest, and we did just retest about this level here, which is 37.19. And kind of wait to see if Newmont can get some footing going forward. I do think in the year ahead, these gold miners are going to do pretty well. I believe Tom would share that kind of opinion of it too. But so far as we're looking at it, I can still see Newmont pulling back a little bit, along with some of these miners as well. Especially with this counter trend bounce with the dollar, I would say. We want to wait to see that come back down, maybe more to like the $99 area. Until we can see gold really like take off in a major way. So that's kind of my 2 pence on Newmont.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling in, Costa. All right. Let's take a look here. I think we got some more callers as well. Let's take a look at Lucid. Trading down about 5% today, 4.8. This is the lowest it's been in quite a while. They had very poor numbers on their quarterly reports. They're having issues producing the cars. They're having issues getting them all assembled and getting them out. I think we're going to see a larger hit in EV going forward, right? We've seen Hertz actually, they're about to reduce the number of EVs that they have in their fleet by about a third, which is a large number. I think something around 20,000. I think that the production is getting a little bit too expensive as it is currently. I think the past 2 years have been very good for new car purchases and just car purchases in general. And this kind of begs the question, what is the demand going to be for just vehicles in general going forward in the next few years? And then certainly something that I wouldn't call niche, but because obviously it's becoming very dominant. EVs is what I'm saying. But I still think that it's not as prevalent as it's going to be going forward, right? I think we're going to get a lull currently, and this is going to kind of lag purchase of EVs. One of the positive things that I think is going to benefit the purchasing of EV going forward, I mean, first, let's say the tax rebates you get for owning an EV vehicle and at least buying it are actually pretty good. I drive a Mazda CX-30. It's a newer model. And with the rebates and all the kind of deals that I would get buying an EV, and this is again coming from like the government, I would have paid roughly the same for a Tesla, which is positive. I didn't buy a Tesla because I just don't know where I want to charge it. This is a major issue. Well, Biden administration just dumped something like $630 million into expanding these EV charging stations, which is going to be massive. We'll take a look about this. We're about to hit the break, so I'll save pulling that up until we get there. But these are some of the challenges we're seeing, and I think with higher rates as well, a lot of these more expensive cars, which the EV models usually are probably going to be put on the back burner at least for the next 2 or 3 years. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, your key to successful active trading. Tom O'Brien, renowned for his expertise in the financial markets, has designed Market Insights to be your daily guide to profitable trades. Tom publishes his daily Market Insights newsletter every market day before the market open, along with updates when warranted. Stay ahead of the game with Tom's real-time analysis and trade recommendations delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, Market Insights provides the edge you need to navigate the markets with confidence. Ready to join the ranks of successful traders? Head over to TFNN.com and subscribe to Market Insights today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your trading results. Market Insights comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for all new subscribers, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your trading game. Head over to TFNN.com right now to join the thousands of traders who have already experienced the power of Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, firsthand. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. We have Mike calling. Mike, are you there?
Jacob.
Mike, how you doing?
Jacob. Buddy, I had to call in and say hi to you, pal. You remember me?
Oh, Mike, I do remember you. We spoke a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't let him tell me call back.
How you doing, Mike?
I said I got to talk to my man Jacob, man. I have to talk to you, brother.
Well,
how you doing, Jacob?
It's good. It's good to hear from you again, Mike. You know, I was talking with Mike a few weeks ago, and he gave me some pretty good tips for New England, and really enjoyed the conversation. Actually, Mike, what are you taking a look at today?
What I want. Listen, Jacob, this is right up your alley.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you any particular your opinion. I like your opinion, but what's the buzz around TFNN? Are there more bears than bulls? That's what I'm asking you right now. Are there more bears than bulls of all the boys? What do you think?
Well, here's what I will say to that. I'm not going to speak for the traders we have here. I'd recommend for anyone curious, go check out some of their archives. Really a huge thing. What I'll say is looking in the den a little bit, which again I will plug this to the end of time. A lot of the den members that we have, I think, are currently going a little bit short on it. We're seeing it, right? That's kind of the consensus I'm getting of kind of looking and seeing everything with what they're saying. At least for the traders and everyone else, I don't want to speak too much for them. I'll say, too, we were supposed to have Tim Ord on today, and he always does such a great job with kind of his analysis, really on the GDX and the SPX as well. Sadly, he won't be on today, but some of his...
I love Tim Ord.
He's phenomenal.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he really is. And, last Thursday we were speaking, I think he was seeing a potential to pull back maybe to that 4,600 level area. Now, of course, that's about a week old of analysis, so I'm not saying that's his position currently. But that's what he was talking about, and kind of a resistance right there. So, yeah, that's what we've got, at least den-wise, and some of the guests we have on there, Mike.
Listen, Jacob, they asked me, what am I going to ask you about? I can't just say I want to talk to Jacob about how his life's going. I had to come up with something.
Mike, we'll have to get our own show on here or something like that, all right? Talk at the 2 o'clock hour or something.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got to talk to you, buddy. I'm so happy. Mike, how are you doing?
Doing well. Same with you, actually. When I read it, I forgot the area you were in when I got that. I was like, who is this? And it's great to actually hear from you, Mike.
I'm from Wilmington.
Yes.
But when I called Tom and Tommy, I always said I was from Somerville. That's why I said that. But you'll remember me as from Wilmington.
That's right. That's correct. I remember you as from Wilmington. So still looking at some of those areas up in New England too, Mike. So I appreciate you calling in. It's great, really good to hear from you. You have to call me at some other point too, all right?
Buddy, you're doing a hell of a job. You're doing a great job. I love your information that you give out there. Thank you for everything. Thanks, pal.
Mike, thank you so much for calling in. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, buddy.
All right, take care now. Love it. Mike's a great guy. Always enjoyed talking with him. All right, so some big news. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit yesterday at the end of the 4 p.m. market update. But the SEC did go ahead and give the green light for spot Bitcoin ETFs, which is massive, okay? Let's take a look here. I believe Van X is the largest seeded. Give me a moment to see if I can pull that up. I can't find, there we go, perfect. So and this is what the ticker for this is HODL, which is hilarious. So they seeded HODL with $72.5 million. That is the largest seed capital compared to other spot Bitcoin ETFs. Obviously, big commitment. This seems a little bit more like an ad for Van Eck when I was reading through it. But the point is that is actually the largest out of all of these other guys that are seeding it. One of the super interesting things that's happening online currently is Vanguard is not allowing their customers to invest in these ETFs, which is really... I don't know the logic behind that. If they're just staying a little bit more conservative, but it's causing quite an uproar online. I really do see this. This is going to be a massive area for capital flow. I think it's going to be really amazing to see once these kind of get kicked off, what's going to happen with that. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the issues in the way just for crypto as a whole, right, and how it's going to get looked at. Now, we're essentially good, right, because we can invest in these things now, but I still think on the side of regulating them, let's say like legally, still has a lot to be looked into. So this is a big story. This is crypto and fintech groups have been fined $5.8 billion in a global crackdown on illicit money. And now what's interesting is America is really the major, let's say, player in precedence for how they treat these kind of issues, right? So let's take a look a little bit into this. Crypto and fintech groups were, for the first time, fined more for lax controls in the entire traditional finance system last year as global authorities cracked down on illicit money flows and finances new frontiers. Data analyzed by the Financial Times showed crypto and digital payment companies paid about $5.8 billion in fines last year for shortcomings in customer checks and anti-money laundering controls, as well as for failing to uphold sanctions and other financial crime issues. Excuse me. The $5.8 billion total, which included a $4.3 billion penalty against crypto exchange Binance, billed as a warning shot by U.S. prosecutors, dwarfed the $835 million paid by traditional financial services group last year, lowest level in a decade. I do think things like Coinbase and Binance are really going to be targeted for this, but the fact of the matter really is that those platforms are not needed to facilitate transactions between cryptocurrencies, right? This is how, normies essentially are going to be buying crypto, right? These hardcore kind of ideologues of crypto are not using Binance or not using Coinbase. And this is really where a lot of this kind of illegality is happening, right? Different cartels around the world use these kind of things. Obviously, a lot of cyber criminals accept all their ransom payments in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. But I think we're going to see some movement really by federal authorities to kind of smack places like Coinbase and Binance very hard. And they're going to, I don't know if that's necessarily a positive thing going forward, because I don't know if they can control all of the illegal things that are going on. I mean, I know, for instance, one of the big headlines was that North Korea was getting a lot of money. They were hacking wallets essentially out of these kind of companies, which is pretty fantastic. I just don't think we're I don't think we're as smooth with this as maybe people online are making it out to be. This is a huge step that the SEC is allowing these kind of more traditional companies to treat these like securities, but we're not out of the woods yet regarding kind of the authorities essentially messing around with it. Let's take a look, too, at the Bitcoin price. We've actually gone down a little bit, too, even with this announcement. And what I'll say about that, okay, so we're at 46,852, trading at about, let's see, yesterday about 48,598, coming all the way down here, and then a minor sell-off at the news. What is that? I mean, essentially, people don't the ideologues don't care that these kind of spot ETFs are there. They're in it for the Bitcoin. There's a lot of buy up to it, and they sold on that news, which I think is what that pullback is. I think going forward in the coming months, there's still a lot of upside, obviously, for this. And with institutional investors purchasing a lot of them, that's a positive sign if you are a hodler as well. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Just one last kind of comment on everything with the Bitcoin ETFs. There's some news as well circulating that some of the OTCs are offering a premium to spot on Bitcoin. And this is actually something that'll be unique to kind of see, right? And it really has to do with how much kind of float is out there for Bitcoin. You know, these guys are going to buy these Bitcoins kind of at the end of the day, even though they're getting the orders throughout the day. And, you know, if there's not enough kind of free Bitcoin flowing out there, you're going to get a massive kind of supply squeeze. And obviously that's a positive thing because it frees up Bitcoin in a sense. I suppose when it gets so high, people will dump out. But this will be also kind of interesting just to see as like a case study going forward how they kind of balance all that out. A little bit before, my first segment, I was talking about some issues that EVs were having. Of course, I think there's probably going to be a lower demand for vehicles in the next coming years after the firestorm we had the past 2 years. And then also, one of the number one things is like, where the heck do I charge my EV at? Well, Biden administration is seeking to try to rectify that issue, answer that question. They're awarding $623 million to states, local governments, and tribes to build EV charging networks. And this will be really interesting. I also wonder, too, when, you're calculating GDP and, GDP is massive for telling, what we're growing at basically per year. A lot of this government spending is obviously factored in, right? I mean, that's one of the components of GDP. And, I wonder how this pretty intense government spending during a period of also high inflation will kind of affect numbers going forward. I think it's just interesting to think about. But let's take a look here. Grants being announced Thursday will fund 47 EV charging stations and related projects in 22 states and Puerto Rico, including 7,500 EV charging ports. America led the arrival of the automotive industry. Okay, fine. Congress approved $7.5 billion in 2020 infrastructure. So this is massive. And this, again, really ties into what, we've been talking about, where these materials, such as like copper, chromium, let's even say lithium as well, which we'll talk a bit about right after this, are going to be in massive demand. Even Newmont, we were talking about with the caller earlier, they have some copper as well. A lot of these people are diversifying out into it. It's pretty massive. All right, so let's take a look then about its QuantumScape. I want to pull up all the information because I want to give you the full stuff here. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is QS. QS is in an interesting state because obviously you see on August 3rd, they had a bump up to 1386. What's unique about QuantumScape, and you ask, what is this volume here? Okay. First, let's talk about a few things. This volume here is that they've made insane advancements, essentially, with what are called solid-state batteries, okay? These solid-state batteries, and we'll talk a little bit about the science behind that and how that works, just for kind of, your edification and everything. It's very unique. It holds a lot more charge and go a lot longer, and it kind of reduces the burden of, as we were just talking about with states and, local areas having to build more and more charging stations. So let's take a look. This huge volume increase was due on news that they had made a pretty good breakthrough with a solid state. What I think this sell-off is people who probably bought up around this area because it's what a lot of traders like to do. And then we had this massive crash down here, and I think this is probably people getting out, at least trying to cut their losses here a little bit. I'm just kind of thinking on that because there's nothing that really changed news-wise with it. Okay, so let's take a look. Can I pull it up? So this is the difference. This is the lithium-ion battery. Okay, this is what we use now. This in Teslas and all this kind of stuff. You have your anode, you have a cathode up here. There's the thing that transfers the energy is a liquid electrolyte. All right, you have a porous separator because you don't want these two sides kind of mixing with each other, except through here. What's really phenomenal about the solid state is that the electrolyte is very dense, okay? And you don't necessarily need of course you need like a cathode, right? You need positive and negative. But it just reduces the amount of extra things you need. And so you can increase the amount of electrolyte you have. Furthermore, you can increase the size of the anode here. This is a lithium metal anode, and this just creates more charge and more storage. And this is really what QuantumScape has made a major breakthrough on. So you can take a look at their website here. They're talking about it. Significantly increases volumetric and gravimetric energy densities, enables less than 15-minute fast charge. That's 10 to 80% increase by eliminating lithium diffusion bottleneck and anode host material. Longer life. This is going to be massive too because the whole point of EVs is that it decreases the pollution in general. Well, we also know that the production of batteries is pretty bad for the environment, right? The production is bad, and what do you do when you no longer need the battery or you can't use it anymore because there is obviously a shelf life on using lithium, well, you just toss it. And that is also pretty bad because you leach heavy metals into wherever your dump site is. So expanding the life of that may help eliminate or at least spread out the pollution over a longer period of time. It's better for safety and it's lower cost. So I think this is pretty fantastic. I think I'll link this in the den right now if you want to take a closer look at it. And I'll also link, let me see here, an IEEE spectrum on solid state and why it is better. And if you're not in the den, again, you go to TFNN.com, go on down to services, $1 a year. Yes, there are a lot of people in it, but it doesn't ever seem super crowded, which I think is really unique about what we have going on there. All right. CPI obviously was a little bit higher than people had been anticipating. Let's take a look here. What I wanted is not that. Okay, so let's take a look here. Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers increased 0.3% in December on a seasonally adjusted basis after rising 0.1% in November. Let's take a look over the last 12 months. The all-times index increased 3.4% before seasonal adjustment. Okay, we were talking about this a little bit, right? You'd have some minor increase in the energy index. Tommy spoke about that. I spoke about that as well. This was possibly going to be something that was going to impact CPI. I think we have some interesting developments occurring right now. We have egg prices going up. What's causing that? Of course, you have avian flu. All right, so this is going to put more upward pressure on the cost of food. Furthermore, we have some issues in the Middle East regarding shipping. I think Iran had just taken one of the major tankers that was in the area. You had Maersk that had just recently resumed operations in the region, and now they're going to be like, well, we don't know if we want to continue to do that. These are all things that are going to affect this level, the inflation number, essentially, right? They're going to increase the cost of goods, increase the cost of energy, and these play a major role in factoring CPI. And so, you know, when do we see the rates come down then, overall? Let's take a second. We'll go to the break. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN Newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. Before we went on break, talking a little bit about CPI. I was a little bit higher than anticipated for December. And then we were talking about some certain factors that may have an impact on the next CPI release. So we're talking about we're having higher egg prices, okay, with an increase of avian flu that's going around. Energy issues regarding some of the instability, essentially, in the Middle East. Obviously, you still have Libya on strike. And then, two, what's going on around the Red Sea, essentially, okay? So let's talk about a little bit about this. These things are all potentially going to make CPI numbers worse. And we're in an environment where people are essentially kind of pricing in lower rates going forward. Even with this CPI number being not as good as it, as people were anticipating, I think the market has held relatively okay with that. However, I think if this prolongs for a month or 2 months, we might see a different discussion going around about the time frame for lowering rates. So we take a look here. This is about the Red Sea issue. Okay, the U.S. shipping costs are spiking as attacks in the Red Sea disrupt global trade. Diversion of container ships from the Suez Canal around the Cape of Good Hope, which, is an insane amount of distance more than going through the Suez Canal, is having a global, quote-unquote, global contagion effect. That is by S&P Global Market Intelligence. Trade between Asia and Europe has faced the largest impact, with the Suez Canal serving as a crucial gateway between the two regions, of course. The rate for a 40-foot container from North Asia to Europe has surged more than 600% since the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war in October. And, of course, now you're having issues with the Houthi rebels and Iran. Even so with, in Somalia, too. The piracy is increasing there. Anyways, you have some issues with that. You're having furthering issues with the Panama Canal as well during a drought. And I didn't know this, but apparently the Panama Canal, the way that the locks are fed water is actually by a fresh water source on the mainland. And that fresh water source is essentially over, however long in the century you've been using it, is being exhausted and the rains aren't coming back, which is an insane kind of fact about the whole situation. Anyways, it's like we're developing this perfect storm of kind of major disruptions again to global trade routes, okay? And that was really what a lot of this inflation was being caused by, at least in consumer goods, is you have this essential freeze in all kinds of trade globally. And that was due to the pandemic. So some interesting situations we have going forward here. Again, I could see CPI being worse next month if these situations, aren't resolved, or I guess this month, I suppose, right? So that's something to talk about and kind of think about a little bit. What else is it? Iran's Navy seizes the oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman. Okay, this is a major problem too. This also stretches America. Now, that can kind of be a positive thing in some ways for investing, right? Now, the Pentagon just released something that they want to buy essentially more military equipment. So your big companies, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and everything going forward, might get a little pump up. Now, a lot of the times that gets priced in pretty immediately with the release of that kind of news. But with these increasing conflicts around the world, we're still backing Ukraine. Obviously, Israel and Hamas doesn't seem to be toning down anytime soon. And now you're having these kind of aggressive posturings from Iran and their backed rebels. It might be good to buy some defense stocks going forward. And again, the Pentagon has already released saying they would like to purchase more. Maybe we can talk about something positive for a second. This is kind of neat, sticking with the AI concept. Now, this hasn't been necessarily commercialized yet, but I think this is really cool. Scientists reprogram microbes in a quest to create new materials, and this is amazing. This kind of, as they're calling it, synthetic biology, and really even synthetic industry, right? These ways of making these kind of exotic materials to do things that we prior weren't able to do. As it says here, the scientists have broken an evolutionary deadlock by genetically engineering microbes with the potential to develop a vast range of new products from drugs to detergents and household plastics. The researchers at the Medical Research Council Laboratory of Molecular Biology in Cambridge used chemical building blocks that do not occur in the genetic code of living organisms to reprogram bacterial cells into miniature factories with the ability to synthesize novel substances. And this is pretty cool. You know, guys, it's really easy to get caught up in the negative news of the world. Of course, there is a lot of that, but there's also a lot of really fascinating things we as a species are doing every day. I mean, look at here. Polymers they're using, which are composed of chains of similar chemical building blocks, is being used in things like Teflon, polyvinyl, Kevlar. They're able to inject this kind of stuff in it, and it's able to create better materials than those things just listed. And I think that is really fantastic. And this is this idea going forward. What does the investment profile of the 21st century look like? We're only 2 decades in, right? Well, 2.5 decades. These companies that are able to develop microbes that are able to do this, I mean, you think about it, right? All you need to do with the microbe is just feed the thing, and it just does what it's designed to do. It's the same thing with a lot of these computers coming out that are made from brain cells, okay? The only thing you need to do with these brain cells is just give it nutrients, and that is actually exceedingly low cost. So, you know, you think about in the future some company that's able to really mass produce these kind of microbes that make new materials. Their overhead should be relatively low beyond research and development. And we're going to see a really interesting world going forward. And just keep your eyes on something like that, because I think it's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. Take a little bit of a look at TSMC as well. Is it TSM? There we go. So up modestly, they post flat Q4 revenue, but they beat expectations. Taiwan TSMC reported a largely flat fourth quarter revenue on Wednesday, but that still beat both the company's and the market's expectations, and hence kind of a sideways movement here. The world's largest contract chip maker, whose customers include Apple and NVIDIA, has benefited from a boom in artificial intelligence applications that has helped it weather the tapering off of pandemic-led demand. Revenue in the final 3 months of last year came in at about 625 billion Taiwanese monies, and that is going to be 20 billion USD. That beat Taiwan Semiconductor company previous predictions for fourth quarter revenue. I think you're also, they're experiencing a presidential election in Taiwan as well, and that could be leading to a little bit of a smaller consolidation pattern we're seeing with it, kind of hinging on the news going forward. Of course, you still have a lot of problems with quote unquote Chinese aggression in that area, and depending on who gets elected, that can either stabilize out, still remaining relatively high, or it could be exacerbated, which would be obviously a massive issue for shareholders too. For December alone, TSMC reported the revenue fell about 8.4% year on year, which is down about 14.4% compared to the previous month. Asia's most valuable publicly listed company and market capitalization of $491 billion. Of course, did not say anything else moving forward regarding that. I think, too, one of the major issues they're having with TSMC, and we were talking about that a little bit, and I do genuinely believe there's probably already something opened into it regarding investigation. But a lot of these TSMC semiconductors, at least the ARM CPUs, had kind of backdoors in them, right? Hidden registries that were able to be accessed by people who knew the security key for it. So anyways, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Introducing Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, your key to successful active trading. Tom O'Brien, renowned for his expertise in the financial markets, has designed Market Insights to be your daily guide to profitable trades. Tom publishes his daily Market Insights newsletter every market day before the market open, along with updates when warranted. Stay ahead of the game with Tom's real-time analysis and trade recommendations delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just starting out, Market Insights provides the edge you need to navigate the markets with confidence. Ready to join the ranks of successful traders? Head over to TFNN.com and subscribe to Market Insights today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to supercharge your trading results. Market Insights comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for all new subscribers, so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this opportunity to revolutionize your trading game. Head over to TFNN.com right now to join thousands of traders who have already experienced the power of Tom O'Brien's award-winning newsletter, Market Insights, firsthand. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Taking a look here at some news regarding not just DraftKings, but the online betting industry as a whole. Take a look. DraftKings FanDuel launched mobile sports betting in Vermont as industry keeps booming. Vermont launched mobile sports betting Thursday, becoming the latest state to jump into the booming industry. Of course, right now at DraftKings, we're not seeing a lot of massive action in it whatsoever. The last day with volume was about November 3rd. On the low of that was about 27.60s. Trading right now at 33.36. Might see a reversal back down, at least to that gap around that $30 area. The governor just signed a bill in June authorizing mobile sports betting and announced in December that the state had selected DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fanatics to operate its sports books. The industry is expected to continue to grow in 2024, with North Carolina set to launch mobile sports books by the start of the NCAA basketball tournament in March. California, Georgia, Missouri, and Oklahoma currently have ballot initiatives or legislation on the matter, and I'm sure the same companies, again, Fanatics, FanDuel, and DraftKings are going to get those books as well. It's pretty fantastic to see this move this way, and really the change just kind of socially in America too towards things like sports betting or just betting in general. Vermont is expected to raise up to $7 million from sports betting in its full year of operation. It could reach between $15 million to $18 million in the future. And of course, the dollar reigns supreme, all things considered like that. Get the duck rifles out, everyone. Walmart is expanding drone delivery to 1.8 million households. And this, I think, is a really interesting niche that Walmart is really the only one who's engaging in. I think this is pretty neat, especially with a group, of a populace that doesn't like going out as much, right? And an aging population. These kind of things are definitely going to be a great investment for Walmart. Right. Okay, so let's take a look. Walmart expands drone delivery to 1.8 million households. Pretty fantastic. Essentially, the whole thing they're doing is just you order it like a DoorDash, right? But I would assume it's probably gonna be a little bit cheaper once they get it fully rolled out. This will be huge for pharmaceuticals and other kind of medical things, especially for people who are unable to get out of the house. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I will be with you tomorrow. We have Tommy O'Brien on at 9 a.m. Then we have Basil at 10 Eastern, Steve, Larry, and then I will be with you to close out today. Thank you so much.